sit in front. In front. Can you three sit here in the front? Just come sit in the front.
We begin this tale excuse me, in the central square of a neighborhood in an unnamed northern city. A platz, a piazza, a square as in leafy trees, park benches, drunken university students. It is the end of the wedding reception, the wedding of the illuminating Jack and Jill Bonaparte. The reception is outdoors. Imagine a makeshift bar, a dance floor, tables, and a tent filled with white lanterns and sculpted ice swans. Music is playing. The time is sundown. Jack and Jill are rising stars in the art world. They make installations with tiny bops and bonbons, but also very minimalist too. They live in another steely, cold and proper city, not 200 miles from here, if you take the main line southwest and get off before you hit the eastern overpass. At home here in their old neighborhood, where they came to celebrate, host and toast their union, before moving on to the final leg of the current exhibition tour through the western region. Speaking to a number of guests clustered around her.
I was invited here by some friends. They invited me to come here and do some work on a project. It's totally interesting. This is the place, this part of the world. So many things are changing here. You can feel it. Migration and movement, people coming and going. It's all about connecting and networks and communication between people. I think it's super interesting.
Listening to Melanie with slight distraction.
Would you like a peanut here?
And it's happening in a lot of places. People are doing their own thing. I feel like there is something happening. In my country, no one helps you. And I think people finally realize that they are alone. And it's not only in this way of calling up companies and asking them to give you some cash, but they are really doing it alone. Like here, the way that people here have been doing it, you know, self-organized. They don't want to wait anymore, and the government has failed.
Melanie van der Velde is a young American artist from Barnegat Bay, New Jersey. 1 year ago, her parents sent her upstate to learn marine sciences, but on the train she met an Italian poet and flew with him to Europe, leaving her family and her scholarships behind. After a fatal meeting with a young poet's uncle, a Catholic barber from the Abruzzi region, who accidentally snipped off part of her ear, she realized that she wanted more out of life than to sweep up hair and hear her name spoken with a regional drawl. She packed up and came north.
They are not all ambitious in selling their shit. I mean, some are, but not everyone. Take Jack and Jill, for example, and the whole cultural resistance movement. Some people care, they want to make work that changes things, that talk to people. Changes that unite us, because at the end of the day, aren't we all the same? And you don't all come from the schools, the art schools, some of them just skip it. Or you have the working class ones, and they are like, fuck school, and a lot of people have something to say.
Somewhere at the party, the three friends have gathered. Spoken to Sylvan and Florian.
The Chablis is nice, but who is it that we are toasting?
Jack and Jill, they used to live around here. This is the event of the year for the neighborhood. You remember them, the couple from Patience Gallery that wanted to take pictures of Grandfather's footstool? It was the summer before you went to Cameroon. They used to come quite often to the pension, but that was done some time ago, before their career in art took off.
Let's toast to your return, to another glorious adventure. Good to have you back. Thanks. After I contracted Swiss thermal water lily fever, which resulted in rash-like contusions all over my face and chest, she left me.
Isn't there a cream for that?
Never mind. Some women can't see past contusions. Now that you're here, we'll fix them.
have been friends for many years. Hilaria. piracy in the farthest region of the Americas, or digging Christian dams deep in the Pakistani forests, she's here with her friends, tending Tante Augusta's bar, changing bed sheets, and charming her friends with horticultural exploits. Silva. Silva met Hilaria at university, where she was studying ethnography. She made no attempt to study human society outside of her own circle of friends, and has remained at her college job, tending bar while tending to the ladies. She plans to finish her thesis on the modern watering hole as mess hall of post-late capitalistic marginalized communities, after she rebuilds the second guest toilets around the back. Florian? Florian is Tante Augusta's nephew and runs her bar. He used to do the books for the pension, but his mother managed to cheat him out of the entire bar's saving during a particularly heated game of Yahtzee on one of her rare visits away from the Charmaine Queen cruises, where she worked as head hostess in the Ruby Room. Since then, Tante Augusta does the books, and Florian continues to research the family roots, which, to both his and Augusta's delight, seem to go back as far as Rosa von Traunheim. At the outdoor wedding bar.
Oh, you're just tired of your job patience, your scourging and bitterness. You develop mistrust towards them. The trouble these days is that loyalty is not an attractive commodity. It's the province of losers.
Isn't it Hannah hanging on Heschel's arm over there?
And losers used to be called romantics, dying for a cause, suffering a life of poverty and anonymity for the sake of art and love.
Hannah, Heschel, so good to see you, out and in company. For diese Größe mit Sie, die ganze Miss Butcher is here.
Spoken with a Yiddish inflection.
These days if you can't market your cause, you may as well change it.
To Diana.
Yes, I once thought that marriages of convenience, such as ours, were avant-garde. But it seems to be the done thing these days. And what flawless presentation.
I think the Bonapartes make a perfect couple. They are really very lucky in some ways.
Never mind them, dear. How do you do these days, Hannah?
To Diana.
She's in the market for a new love, not a cause to die for.
Sourly.
Have you tried dating?
Gently ignoring patient's bad temper and answering Diana.
So nice to be asked how and not what. One never seems to do a thing but speak of work.
Hannah has yet to discover the true nature of employment curiosity. What do you do? Is a commonly used contemporary form of assessing one's partner in conversation and their suitability. For example, in the art world, what do you do is often answered with, my latest project is. And in the business world, the proper response would be to refer to one's own corporate employment. I am the CEO of... Work is the object, the holy grail of conversation. Asking after someone's well-being makes one seem unprofessional and really rather boring and naive. In the background.
Fritzy, what did you do? What did you do?
Spotting Silva.
Excuse me, ladies, but I think I see my prince unattended.
He exits. To Hannah.
Haven't weddings always been a matchmaker's heaven? You should look around. Hesche, yes.
I don't believe in matchmaking. Love is.
Spotting Hilaria?
Perhaps this wedding will succeed in brewing something more than my temper yet. Come along, Diana. I need a walk.
She winks to Diana as they take leave. Many years ago, Patience had a similar hunch. Jack, you must meet my friend Jill. She's currently working on a project projecting objects through space. To Jill, she said, Jill, you must meet my friend Jack. He loves minimalism in motion too. It was a hunch, an introduction, an understanding, then came the career, and now it is a wedding. Hannah is left on her own for a moment, stunned by her friend's abandonment. Then she realizes as Hilaria edges closer to her. Hannah Eleanor Goldsworthy works as a copy editor for the local paper, The Local News. She spends most of her time chewing the loose strings of her experiments in contemporary fashion, while contemplating the correct usage of a colon as opposed to a semicolon. Occasionally, she submits a paper to the Journal of Semi-Important Usages of Minor Exclamation Marks, for which her friends are semi-proud. She enjoys listening to the radio, reading and drinking good coffee. Heschel Bartholomew Good is a city council lawyer specializing in renters' rights. In his late 20s, while working on a citywide campaign to remove mildew forever from renters' walls, he met Hannah, who was covering the demos for another local rag. They married after realizing that they could help each other's financial fix. He enjoys newspapers, numbers, and curly hair. Patience Hackney runs the oldest surviving local art gallery. She spent her life building a community of committed, if not completely professional artists. Preferring solidarity over solid cash, she has become a kind of angry mom for the working painter. In former times, her dreams of turning art into a political movement kept her heart warm, even though her ovens went cold. Though she has not given up, her therapist tells her it is all right to think about relocating somewhere warm. Diana Fortuna Tedeschi is, as her name reveals, an Italian-German with Yiddish and Ladino roots. She and her two children from an uncharted romance currently live with Patience in her small flat and help eat in the winter months. Though Diana is Patience's companion in the gallery, she agrees with the therapist and thinks that relocation is not a bad strategy considering. Before the birth of her children, she spent a lot of time teaching watercolor in Manila and found plantain and green mango quite to her liking. Hannah is still alone at the bar. Hilaria has edged over to talk to her.
Your helianthus has a lovely shade of rust.
Wearing a flower pinned to her blouse.
Excuse me?
You know, it's called the perennial sunflower, always blooming.
Actually, I think it's in season now.
Yes, but don't you think that autumn is overestimated for the change in foliage? No one ever writes poetry about the lowly little Hidentius that brings color all year round. Or the Hagebutte, now that you mention it.
I didn't.
I mean, it's just that it's nice to see the beauty of what is in season, and it looks very nice with your hair.
Thank you.
Hannah begins to turn away.
My name is Hilaria. I'm a botanist, amateur actually. I've just came back from Pakistan. They have marvelous plant species there. What's your name?
Hannah.
She puts out politely her hand.
Nice to meet you.
So, Hannah, what side?
Side of what?
They both smile at this little word game. The ice is broken.
Side of the groom or side of the bride?
Side of the guests. I'm tagging along. Thought I might see a stranger across the crowded lawn, and somehow I would know.
Somehow you'd know. You'd see her again and again.
Good, South Pacific. Not many people remember it, but it's one of my favorite songs. My father used to sing it to us as children.
Heschel returns slightly drunk.
Sorry, love, I don't mean to interrupt you two, but I really think that boy is just playing me. Sometimes she pretends she doesn't even recognize me.
Oh, Heschel, this is Hilaria. She's an amateur.
Hannah sees Hilaria.
Well, amateur or not, she seems to have played this game before.
Grinning at Hilaria.
I need another drink.
Do you think that's wise? Don't you have to be in court tomorrow morning?
Wife, I drink as I damn please. A hangover might help me get through the horrid thing.
He laughs and turns to go, drink in hand.
A husband is often a thing to bear, don't you think? Not always a thing of joy.
Hilaria is discouraged, having understood that Hannah is married.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never had the pleasure.
She pauses, seeing Heschel coming on to Sylvan.
He does seem to be coming on strong with my friend. Excuse me, but I think she might need my help.
Yes, of course. But you really don't need to worry about Heschel. He's very kind.
Well, anyhow, it was lovely to meet you. Perhaps we'll meet again?
Hilaria heads towards Sylvan.
Then again.
She hums the song Some Enchanted Evening to herself. Meanwhile, Sylvan is happily talking to Florian at the wedding bar.
I'm telling you, Sylvan, I can't think about anyone else, and I've tried everything. Mixed date, notes tucked under a coffee cup. I spent afternoons waiting outside with my binoculars to see if she's heading towards the bar. I'm going mad. She barely gives me the time of day.
Maybe you should reconsider the binoculars. That might scare anyone.
I can't concentrate. My research is suffering. I've been stuck on a Tudor connection to our great-great-great-uncle William IV with a wishful, since while it's beginning to feel like the 15th century.
I'm telling you, Flo, you have to make a move. Ladies love the confident approach. Take me, for example. I've never heard the complaint. I don't give them the opportunity.
That sounds almost criminal.
It's a piece of cake.
Heschel, still drunk, interrupts Sylvan and Florian's conversation. Purposefully ignoring Sylvan, he turns to Florian.
My dear chap, you are looking well tonight. I hope she appreciates the trouble you have taken.
I'm afraid you're the only one who has.
To Florian.
Never give up. Eventually, the lady will yield.
Turning to Sylvan.
Isn't that so, Sylvan?
Not now, Heschel.
I
told
believe you take the same approach.
But I told you to take. I've been working the bar and the floor.
Fine, fine. I only wanted to steal a kiss.
Heschel is leaning into Sylvan to kiss him. At this moment, Hilaria arrives and inserts herself between Heschel and Sylvan. Putting her arm around Sylvan's waist, she kisses her herself.
Sorry, Heschel. Next time we have to be quicker.
Sylvan is relieved, but slightly embarrassed.
As long as there is a next time, I can lose gracefully this time.
He makes a short mock bow to the ladies and turns to go. Sylvan quickly forgets Heschel and turns her attention to Hilaria.
Well, Romeo, how did you find Hannah? Ready to die for your love?
She's married, my friend Mercutio.
To that dandy of yours.
Is she as sweet as she seems? We see her often at the bar.
Married! Heschel never mentioned that. I'm sure it's just one of his jokes. Anyhow, marrying just like tennis. Easy to jump over.
I'm not in the mood for athletics. Let's drink to being single.
I like to think that there is enough cake for everyone. To freedom and love fences.
The three raise their glasses and toast themselves.
Do you feel it? Yes, I feel it. Do you feel it? Yes, I do. And if I really, really feel it, then you would feel it too.
What do you feel?
I feel these ladies, they are perfect, and they tell me just come by. And if I won't ignore their calling, then in me a wolf will die. I feel the wolf in me is waiting, and it's just not for waiting's sake. You feel it coming. She is waiting for this cake.
Which cake?
Do you feel it? Yes, I feel it. Do you feel it? Yes, I do.
But which cake now?
I feel the cherry, like the berries, sweet the cream, the lemon cheese. Call it coffee, mocha, chocolate. Be sure the wolf is underneath. I feel its cake, what we are baking. And it's cake, what we believe. And what is cake, still on the table, will fade to crumbs once on the sheet. Cream is cake, I are taking. And then it's cake, what we believe. And it's cake, still on the table, will fade to crumbs on the sheet. Every cake needs its own baking, needs its magic and mystery. And while the baking powder is rising, another wolf will rise in me. I feel its cake, what we are baking, and it's cake, what we will eat. And what is cake, still on the table, will fade to crumbs once on the sheet. I feel its cake, what we are baking, and it's cake, what we will eat. And what is cake, still on the table, will fade to crumbs once on the sheet. I feel its cake, what we are baking, and it's cake, what we will eat. And what is cake, still on the table, will fade to crumbs once on the sheet. I feel its cake, what we are baking, and it's cake, what we will eat. And what is cake, still on the table, will fade to crumbs once on the sheet. I feel its cake, what we are baking, and it's cake, what we will eat. And what is cake, still on the table, will fade to crumbs once on the sheet.
Do you feel it?
Yes, I feel it.
Do you feel it?
Yeah.
Patience returns to find Hannah alone again and inquires about her flirtation with Hilaria.
So, darling, is love better than a cause? Or have you found them to be one and the same?
Love can't be the aim, it's only the outcome.
You're speaking in tongues. What exactly did Hilaria say?
She said you should mind your own love life.
Fine. If you don't want to share with me, I'll share with you. I just had a rallying talk with Poppy. She said the City Health Department has been pressing Tante Augusta to renovate or vacate her bar.
Oh, no. Tante surely doesn't have the money for renovations. She's barely making the bar keep itself and the girls.
Well, with the changes happening in this neighborhood, all the money flooding in, the pressure is on to upscale businesses or go out of business.
What about the gallery?
We're feeling it too. Rent is shooting to the stars, and all my artists want to see sales suddenly.
Melanie joins Patience and Hannah. Somewhere at the party, Hansi is choking on a flamingo. Poppy slaps him on the back while screaming at him to spit it out.
I'm having a great time. Everything is so wonderful and everyone is together and it's all so interesting. And it's just like a fairy tale out here in the piazza. Don't you think so?
After years of working together, they suddenly want to go to art fairs and loan their work out to curators. I'm beginning to feel more like an agent than a gallerist. I used to nurture artists and not package them.
I know what you mean. Some artists just want to exploit galleries. I have a lot of work and I have no money, but I'm busy and have this show now with you. But if I don't make any money, then fuck it. Who cares? Ooh, Patience, don't you just love the little flaming flamingos in the cocktails? Do you think it's a reference to John Waters or Jack Smith? It's so funny. I like that kind of surprising thing when you're not expecting it, you know?
To Melanie,
We were just talking about that.
still in the background.
Hansi, stop moving! I'm going to Heimlich you!
Suddenly, Hannah spots Hilaria kissing Silva.
Anyhow, it's mostly to blame, of course. We practically invited the hipsters to move in. Now we'll have to leave or else get corporate jobs just to keep up.
Don't ask me. I'm only a hipster with a manual job in the culture industry.
Melanie sees what Hannah is looking at.
Hilaria kissing Silva? I thought Silva was with Florian. Oh, was it Poppy? I can't keep up.
Why try?
Exactly.
Poppy walks over to Hannah, Patience and Melanie.
They won't be happy until someone dies here. First flamingos and then that man.
Referring to Toto.
Emerging from the shadows like a modern day Mr. Hyde, with only economics rather than murder on his mind.
Another one speaking in tongues. Poppy, what else did Toto tell you?
Well, he'll tell you himself. He's coming this way.
Evening, ladies. Stupid party, eh? Good to see everyone out and being friendly. Unfortunately, I've just been making the rounds to let everyone know it's time to wrap it up.
What? We've just only got here and it's still so early. Surely you can bend the rules for us?
I'm sure Toto is too honest to bend anything.
Ha! Hannah, you always had a sharp tongue.
As long as there is something to sharpen it on.
Regardless, as to this party, it's about to be dispersed by the police. Your hosts only secured a license till 10 o'clock. Too bad, huh?
Since when do we need a license to drink in the street anyhow? Not that I'm defending them, but really, this is an impingement on our civil rights.
And who exactly gave you the authority, Toto? I know what you do in the department. Nothing but fiddling with post-it notes.
I'm only being neighborly and giving you the heads up about the police. You should thank me for it. You don't want to get arrested, do you?
I, for one, know that you and your friends
Pointing at Poppy.
have to be at my offices early tomorrow morning.
What do you mean by that, Toto?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but Santa Augusta has had a letter from the department. It's a serious. She has to run at the bar and bring it up to modern health and safety standards by the end of the month. Well, she'll have to shut down the place. It's her last chance. She's known about this for a year now.
That's so sad. I really liked her bar and the bar staff was hot.
Well, why don't you get to work on a damn eulogy then, Melanie?
Tanta will never close. You can go and tell that to your department.
Well, I best get going. And you all should too. Have a lovely night.
Toto exits. It seems that the bureaucrats of today profit from preparing a healthier future for us, though we are perfectly happy with our present state of precarious filth.
Just can't stomach that, man.
I suppose we should pack up too. I'll just go and get my coat.
Hannah walks over to the bar to get her coat. Ilaria is still there.
Anyone want to join me? I think I'll drop in at the hostel and have another drink.
Melanie exits.
I've had enough too. I'm going to my bed and my darling Fritzy. She hasn't eaten all day. She must be starving. She's probably eating the wallpaper. That turtle. I could squish him. Good night.
Poppy exits. Hannah is stopped by Hobbs as she walks over to the bar.
Hannah, you know, Hannah. I was just talking to a friend of mine from the Artists Association, and we thought you might have some influence over there in your paper. We were thinking that maybe you could write an article about our upcoming exhibition at the gallery. It could really help business, and that would make patients happy, and it might help our sales. And well, we only thought you might be interested, and it's really very relevant too. Our theme this year is another year a to-do list. It's really quite conceptual, but there will be still a lot of watercolor and gouache and some sculpture too, of found objects. Think about it. I think it's a wonderful chance to give the gallery some publicity.
Sorry, Pops, that sounds great, but I don't have that kind of influence. I'm just a copy editor. I don't write articles.
You're too modest, Hannah. This is your chance. I think you do a fine job. Just think about it.
Alright, I will. Thank you, Pops. Have to go, sorry.
For people like us, for people like us, for people like you, for people like me, for people.
Did you see a dark green coat by any chance? I left it here.
Oh yeah, I just popped it behind the counter. Didn't want anyone to take it by accident.
Thanks, that was very kind of you.
Listen, I'm sort of hopeless at this kind of thing, and I'm not sure if you would like to...
You seem to be doing just fine.
Wait a minute, I just wanted to know if you'd...
Look, it was nice to meet you. I've got to go.
Hannah exits. At that moment, Tante arrives, looking wildly unsettled.
Florian, Hilaria, Silvan, thank goodness you're still here. I need a drink. I feel hot. Maybe I need a doctor.
What's wrong, Augusta? Are you ill?
Is it the brandy? Try a ginger biscuit. It always sets me right.
Don't be such sentimentalist. I'm not ill. I'm sick to my stomach from this latest defeat.
What battle are you waging these days, Tante?
Speaking to Hilaria.
She's been picketing the city council for months. Renters' rights. They call themselves the Sunday 12 at Mass.
Also explaining to Hilaria.
Poppy is there with me every week. She's a real comrade.
Isn't the city council closed on Sundays? Never mind that. Tell us what happened, Tante.
As I was trying to say, our deferral of the last claims from the department was refused, and I have just received notice that we've run out of time.
What does it mean? We can't just let them close us down.
Of course, it's the nature of change. Though history shows that people can divert the natural course of things. Nothing is inevitable. You must sit down and think.
I don't have time to think. Tomorrow, Poppy and I must go to the department.
Don't worry, Tante. We'll watch the bar.
Yes, that's what I mean, you see? We're a community. If someone needs a doctor, don't we call the doctor for them? If the phones are down, we talk to each other over a pot of hot tea. When the city wouldn't pick up our trash, didn't we dump it on their doorstep until they did something about it? You're my friends, my family. Damn these politicians and their little bureaucrats. No one can see what the future holds. They can crush a life's hope for the sake of higher taxes and their crazy laws on safety, or what do they call it these days? Health? They talk to me about boilers and